Well, good morning folks, and we're back out on another hill trek. I've just left the Ben Nevis Visitor Centre, so you could probably guess what mount it is I'm going to be climbing. So today I'm going to be taking the mountain path up to Ben Nevis, and yeah, this path used to be called the tourist path. They've changed the name for it. I think it's trying to discourage the fact that that this is an easy path. Like in any weather conditions, going up any mountain, it can be challenging. This is the first time I've gone up Ben Nevis. I had planned to do this one, maybe doing the three-peak challenge at a later point. But I thought, it's winter time, it's off-peak season, so it's going to be quiet. I was just waiting for the lighting levels to get decent this morning for filming, and I'm just going to head up. So it's just a day before Christmas Eve, and I thought this would be a nice little getaway. Anyway, we'll move up the path and we'll catch up a little bit further on. So there are different approaches to the summit of Ben Nevis. This is one of the junctions in the mountain path that you have. Now if I was to take this path downhill, it would take me towards the youth hostel. Now it's a steep up climb coming from there, but it's on good path. It's the same for the rest of it as we head up towards the summit. As we get back on the trail, I'll talk about some of the other routes that you can take. Yeah, you've got to forgive me. I've got a little bit of a coarse voice today. I'm still getting over the flu. Anyway, I'll probably talk a little bit more about the route itself. Now we're on the mountain path. The mountain path is deemed the easier of the routes that you can take, or at least the safest. Now if you go and walk the Highland page or other guides that you can take, it says you can take anything up to 9 hours. Now that's 9 hours during summer conditions. So winter conditions, today it's not too bad. There is snow on the summit, I can see that. But I'll usually allow for at least a couple extra hours, which usually means getting off a nice early start. And if it wasn't for the fact I was filming, I probably would have left about 6 this morning. Now the other approaches that you can do is to go up by possibly coming from t-Suidhe car park, and that's going up by the nearest Munro to Ben Nevis, which connects to it, and that's Lochan Meall. A lot of people probably heard of the CMD arete, which links the two Munros. This is quite a dangerous section to do, especially in bad weather conditions. So if you're still quite early in your game of doing mountain climbing, I certainly would not recommend trying that part. Now you can, when going up Lochan Meall, there is obviously a trail path will take you most of the way up there, but still a lot of times people try and make it a little more challenging on themselves and go up the ravine between the two Munros and climb up one of them sections to reach the arete. But I'll certainly not be doing that today. Now, it says about 9 hours, to get there and back. I went and route planned it on my Garmin device, and it was saying between 6 and 7, so I don't know whether they allow a little bit extra time in it for people who are still quite new to walking up in the mountains. We'll wait and see. I'm certainly not in a rush to get up there. Trying to test out some new equipment today. Got a drone, some new mics, so I'm allowing for extra time for that. Anyway, she'll move up and probably catch up again nearer the halfway Lochan. So if you look behind me, or behind this sign, you'll actually see the old path which skirts around the end of this, this gorge. It's been deemed unsafe to use due to erosion, even though it might seem the quicker route. The way that we zigzag up the hill will be a more gradual ascent, so certainly advised to take it. So we just passed the halfway Lochan, aptly called that name because it's near enough the halfway point up towards the summit. Now I'm just at this T-junction. Now we'll be heading up the hill on the old mountain path, but if I was to go down the hill, this path just skirt around and come towards Carnmore and Derrig, Munro. So that's another way that you could ascend to the top. So we've slowly been zigzagging our way towards the top. I was kind of hoping I was going to get away without having to put my crampons on. I've not got the ideal boots or winter boots for wearing them, but they'll suffice because it was far too slippy not to be coming up here without some form of very least micro spikes. So ideally, should probably only be about 15 minutes away from the top now. We're on our last section and we'll catch up as soon as we get there. So in front of me is a survival shelter. You need to climb up to it. It's not so easy to get to when you've got crampons on, so that'll be something for maybe a summer escapade. And I believe the ruins here is part of the old meteorological observation room or building, sorry. You'll notice there's a lot of cairns up here, a lot of memorial cairns. They ask that you don't add extra cairns up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the drone up. It says getting about coming up to about 1:30, so it is getting later on in the day. I'll get a drop, get some nice views for you hopefully, and we'll catch up after that. So this has been a really enjoyable climb. Certainly hard going in the thick snow, but that's to be expected. Anyway, it's getting to that point I need to sort of get off the mountainside before it starts getting dark. Something to always remember at this time of year, the sun's usually going down about 4 o'clock. One of the things, interesting little facts I picked up is in 1911, if you know what a Model T Ford is, an early automobile, they actually drove that up here over the space of 5 days. Obviously it was a marketing stunt, but I don't envy the task of trying it. But anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this rather short video. Just a teaser. I will be back up here again. In the meantime, hope you enjoy your festive period, and stay safe out there on your own trails. We'll see each other later.